Today I want to talk about colors. So let's get started. Let's make ourselves a meme. Okay, who do I want to be the subject of my meme today? You know what? I'm feeling like we should make a meme about Joe Biden. Go to images. Once again, we're going to go to tools and hit large so that we can get one that's a good size. I like this one. Copy image. Go back to there. Hit Control N as in Nancy. And so it automatically put in the proportions of the image we just copied. Hit OK. Control V as in Victor. But let's say at some point we know for sure that we want to make some changes to our original image. What we can do is we can hit duplicate layer and we can make some copies of the original image. And so that we have those as backup in case we mess up on one. Okay, so what kind of things can we do to manipulate the colors of an image in paint.net? There's lots of different ways we can do this, and we're going to go to adjustments and we can see all sorts of different things that we can do. We can hit sepia, which makes it like old-timey looking. Ooh, I was on the wrong layer. I had selected the transparent layer and that's why it didn't work. I'm going to make sure we're on the right layer. Ooh, so now it's like an old-timey image. I'm going to hit Control Z as in zebra so that we can undo and try something else. We can try black and white. Control Z. We can try inverting the colors. Ooh, that's creepy. We can try levels. I don't think I've played with the levels feature much. But we can change the amount of red and things like that. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel. A lot of learning how to do digital imaging and memes is just playing around with all of the different things that you see. I think I want to have a black and white version of Uncle Joe here. So we're going to just take the black and white version. We're going to put it in the back. We don't need to worry about it right now. We'll just have it on hand. I'm going to make a new copy of the original image. So a feature that we're going to be using a lot is this brightness and contrast feature. So we have the brightness, which can make an image lighter and darker. And also the contrast, which changes the difference between the light colors and the dark colors. So I think this picture on its own looks kind of dull. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the brightness and I'm going to turn up the contrast. See, now it looks a little bit brighter. Sometimes, if you want to make an image look brighter, you ironically have to turn down the brightness, but I'm going to turn up the brightness in this case. Every single image is different, and you just got to play around with it until you get something that you like. I think that looks a little bit better than the original, so we're going to use this. I still think it's a little bit dull. Let's see. Another thing that we can use is this hue and saturation. So if we want the colors to be brighter, just turn up the saturation a little bit. So if we turn it way up, then the colors get super bright, and then if we turn it all the way down, it turns into a black and white picture. So just turn it up just a little bit. Get nice and sunny looking. This here is hue. It just changes like the baseline of all of the different colors that you have. And there's a lot of fun things you can do with it. Kind of looks like a freaky alien, and we can hit reset. This one works kind of like brightness, like we saw in brightness and contrast. Oh, so that looks a lot nicer, I think. So we'll save. We'll make a copy of this one and we'll also save it. And also let's make a black and white copy of this one too. Okay. So if we compare this one here, so here's one of the original copies. So here's the original, and here's the one we edited. Look how much nicer that looks. Let's say that we want to make a weird, creepy effect on the picture. Like we just want to make it look like he's standing under like a weird bright light, or in a dark room, or he's like glowing or something kind of weird. What we can do is we can make a new layer over top of the image, and then we can use the fill feature, the paint bucket feature, or the gradient feature, and then we can just color over him. But I didn't touch the original image, it's still there. And then we can do all sorts of crazy things by going to layer properties. And we can change how one layer shines through to the layers down below it. So we can change how see-through it is, so we could make it like thin, sort of transparent. And we can change how things shine through, and there's lots of different cool effects that we can use. We have this multiply, we have additive, and they all have different effects, and you can just pick out the one you want so you get the correct one until you like the way it looks. Ooh, I like this one, that's kind of cool. This is the freakiest one, Zor. Screen. Yeah, you can just play with those until you find the one that you like. Ooh, I kind of like that one. And you can change the intensity of the effect by manipulating the opacity / transparency of the layer. Let's see what happens if we pick a different color. How about green? What happens if we pick green? Ah! So yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. And it's even more fun when we can use gradients too. So let's do like a regular gradient. I'll do this one here. So we can make it look like it's like green at the bottom and then white, or other way around. Let's see what happens when we do the different effects now. Ooh. So the effect appears on one side and not on the other. Or we can even do like a circular one. Let's do like pink in the middle. Yeah, it's not very pink. Can't get the pink that I want. Let's try over here. There we go. I like that one. So if you ever accidentally click out of any of your boxes, they're usually up here. And for my secondary color, I'm going to pick dark red. We'll make it look like he's glowing, so it'll be like pink in the middle and red on the outside. And then let's see what kind of cool things we can do. Ah! So he looks like it's like dark on the outside, he's like shining through. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. Yeah, so there's lots of fun things that you can do with both colors and the layer properties. And once again, we could always change the opacity to change the effect. Sometimes it's fun to like stack layers on top of each other. So we'll duplicate this one. Oh, hit OK, so it stays. We'll like duplicate this one. And we can even like change the effect that each of the duplicates have, and we can make all sorts of cool combinations. You really just gotta play around with it. You really just gotta play around with it till you find one that you like. So we were able to make this like really cool effect using our different coloring tools and the layers. Here, let's move one of the black and white ones up to the top so that we can see what happens if we put a black and white image behind our color layers instead of a plain one. So here's the plain one, here's the black and white one. Sometimes you can have cooler effects with black and white. We got lots of different features that we can use for color. We have, go back to adjustments, we have curves, which like changes like the lightness and darkness of an image. Oh wait, let's make sure I'm on the right layer. You can change like, you can change what happens specifically to the light hues and the dark hues. That's kind of cool. I don't want to make it too dark. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty cool. Ooh, we'll put the pink back on it. That's pretty dramatic. Let's see, what other features do we have? I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with this black and white one here. It's good to, before you do anything with a layer, it's good to copy the layer, and then you can make it visible or invisible using the check mark. And you could just save like the copies of the layers down there, just moving them to the bottom, and you can click to make them visible or invisible. But it's good to copy the layers before you do anything to them, just to be safe. But we forgot to caption it. Okay, now I gotta caption this thing. Okay, I clicked away, so now I'm done. I'm gonna make this one a slightly different. I'm gonna make it like a fancy one. A fancy script. Save as. So if you're working on a project and you want to save all of your layers without mushing the layers together so that you can go back to work on it later, you'll save it as a paint.net or PDN file. And then when you open it up again in paint.net, all your layers will be there. But you can't really use a paint.net file for anything like uploading it to the internet. If you want to upload it to the internet, you need to use either a JPEG or a PNG. So we're going to use a PNG. They usually are a bit nicer than JPEGs. Saving this file format requires that the image first be flattened, which reduces it to a single layer. So if we hit flatten, then all of our layers will go away. So just be aware of that, but I don't really need those layers for anything else, so I'm just going to hit flatten. And now it is saved. So there you have it. Manipulating colors in paint.net.